The Babylon 5 reboot saga looks like it's done. It is not going to be happening. Welcome to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. So I've been following this for 18 months, nearly 2 years. And I've just literally had an email from somebody I know over at Warner Bris who has said, look, the final nail is in the coffin of this project. It's not going to happen now. But there is some good news, so hold on for that. So what am I talking about? 2001 now, J. Michael Straczynski first started talking about a boots up complete reboot of Babylon 5. This would be a complete reimagining, a remake. Now, that was received by many with excitement, by some with some trepidation. A lot of people were maybe thinking, I don't want a complete boots, complete remake, boots from the ground up remake of this show. I love this show. What I would prefer is if you go back and digitally remaster the original. Make the original look better. That would be cool. New space battles, new CGI, all that sort of thing. The problem being with that is just wouldn't be profitable. The cost of doing that and trying to make it look like a new show would be vast. And to be honest, it probably wouldn't have the audience that it would then need. Unfortunately, people don't get excited about, a new version of something like that in the same way that they get excited about a new project. People also talked to J. Michael Straczynski on Twitter about, why don't you just do Babylon 6? Why don't you do Babylon 4? Why don't you do something else? Why don't you do sort of a continuation? And he basically kept saying, the problem is nobody wants to buy Babylon 4, Babylon 6. And also, let's not forget that actually it says, right in the beginning, the opening credits, the Babylon 5 was the last of the Babylon stations. So that also made it a little bit difficult. But J. Michael Straczynski is fortunately bang on correct, as he always is, that executives over at Warner Bris and originally the CW were not interested in a continuation of Babylon 5. They wanted a remake. It needed to be called Babylon 5 because then their fragile little minds, that is all that will sell. So, the CW originally was going to make this series. But then the CW was bought out by a new company and they basically changed direction. That didn't, however, though, kill the project. Warner Bros. Was still interested. But then Warner Bros. Merged with Discovery and started a massive cost-cutting exercise. That cost-cutting exercise basically meant several projects were cancelled at various different stages. Batgirl was cancelled even after it was finished. Virtually. Finished, not quite, but virtually. So it seemed that Warner Bros. Were not going to be paying for this project. But I've been able to tell you exclusively over the last 18 months or so that didn't kill it. Warner Bros. Were interested in trying to find someone else to pay for it, basically. They would produce the new Babylon 5 series with J. Michael Straczynski, and that we would still get the Babylon 5 project. I've told you that initially Apple were very interested in this, and I've actually told you that initially Warner Bros. Were even considering just putting it onto Max. Actually, when Babylon 5, the original series, was re-shown on Max a couple of years ago, it did really, really well. I've then told you, though, that actually Apple were interested, but apparently they've got a bit of a reputation that they express interest in everything. So we don't know what happened there. But then I actually did tell you that Amazon were apparently interested. They saw this as a perfect project for Freevee, a channel they're basically trying to find new projects for all the time at the moment and really do want to heavily develop in it over the next few years. So it looked like it could actually end up on Freevee. And actually, to be fair, I thought that was a perfect fit. I could 100% see a new Babylon 5 series on Freevee. It would have a limited budget, but the original did. So I think, in my head, I'm thinking it would still feel like Babylon 5. That would be quite cool. But now I can tell you that as it stands today, Babylon 5, a live action series, is not going to happen. Unless something changes dramatically at Warner Bros. Or basically Amazon decide to foot the bill for this, but at the moment, they're not going to. This isn't going to happen. But The Road Home animated movie did very well, and that is what the fans were screaming for. It was a continuation, an addition to the original series. It did really well, and sales were actually slightly better than expected. So, Warner Brothers are exploring more animated movies. I'm actually being told one is already in serious development, and it will be probably kept quite secret until the animation side is done. The actors that came back for the Road Home movie will return again, and this again will be a continuation of the Babylon 5 saga. So it will be set at some point within the Babylon 5 run. I actually think that is the best way. I know a lot of you guys really, really don't like animation, and I can understand why, to be honest, because it can be quite irritating. It's not as good as live action, let's be honest. But Warner Brothers have a really good reputation of producing these type of projects really quickly and really well. And I have to say, I loved The Road Home on the whole. I love that it was a continuation of the original series. I love it was an addition to the story, and I thought it was done really, really well. I like that they used actors and voice actors that were respectful of the original characters. And I liked basically how the whole team behind Babylon 5 got together. Bruce Boxleitner is still brilliant, even though you can kind of hear it in his voice. He's now an older man, but, you know, maybe they could do something with AI to tweak that a little bit if they really wanted to. I would actually, though, love to see something from the Minbari Wars, from the beginning of the conflict. You know, something that's a slight prequel to the Babylon 5 series. That'd be very cool. I'd also love to see more with Sinclair and stuff. That was a storyline that never really got concluded. So, yeah, do more with that. That'd be great as well. But, guys, what do you guys think about this news? Please get over into the comments. I think this was expected, to be fair, after just over 2 years waiting. And what's happened with the CW, and then what's happened with Warner Brothers Discovery. I think this is a project that was a vanity project, possibly, for people over at the CW originally. And well, I don't know. I just can't help but feel that it was not the best idea to begin with, if I'm really honest. But don't get me wrong. J. Marsh Krasinski was involved, and that man is a genius, and I'd have watched anything he produced. Anything at all. So, I don't know. It always smacked me as a bad idea, but it might have been awesome. But guys, get to the comments and tell me what you think. Are you surprised by this, or actually, did you expect it? And do you want to see more of the animated movies? Did you enjoy The Road Home? Did you enjoy it? And, you know, do you want to see more of that? Because at the end of the day, it's the only way we're going to get a continuation of the original, if we're honest. Get into the comments and tell me exactly what you think. If you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. It really helps us out, and you'll never miss any of our new videos. Also, you can go to patreon.com/SciTrek, where most of our new videos do premiere first, and you get to see them without the adverts. Finally, go to scitrek.co.uk, which is our dedicated website, and we do articles based on a lot of our videos. I'm doing this video today as I'm going into work. I'm now late, but, you know, as I get the information, I'll get it to you. As always, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.